And let's go. Now, each of these is pretty, it's basically just filling in the formula, but again, you have to apply it and understand what is going on. The first few, the first five are pretty darn simple. You just use the formula as it stands. The formula, of course, is A equals P, bracket 1 plus R over N, bracket Tn. You need to know what all those letters mean. That is on you to know them. You're going to fill this in again. Especially as the formulas get more and more complicated, I cannot stress this enough. You may want to actually write out everything over here before you do any work. Like, what is the principal? What is the rate? What is the N? And what is the T? You may want to write them out there. I don't know. If it helps you, do it. If it doesn't, don't. I don't really care. But I will warn you that what we do today, it will be made much easier as you are learning how to do it if you are willing to do this. You understand? So, of course, the P is 4,000 because that's what we started with. The R, 3.5%. Now, a great many of you have a lot of trouble writing this as the decimal that's going into your calculator. For some strange reason, all of you know what 3% is. But I've asked you what 3.5% is because you have trouble with decimals. And I don't really get why. 3% is 0.03. 4% is 0.04. 3.5 is exactly halfway between 0.03 and 0.04, yes? So what is the decimal that we will be using? 0.035. A lot of you, I shouldn't say you, a lot of students I have a lot of trouble with that conversion. And I don't really know why. A lot of you put 0.35, which is, of course, 35% interest. Nobody is going to charge you or pay you that. That's kind of a lie, actually. There are plenty of credit cards that almost charge 35%. That is why credit is evil unless you know how to handle it and actually understand what interest is doing to you. The N compounded quarterly. So what is N? 4. And the T is time in years, so it is 8. And then we just fill it in. A equals 4,000. 1 plus 0.035 over 4 to the T, 8 times 4. And of course, punching that into your calculator all in one go can be a little bit difficult. So, if you are finding you aren't able to get an answer that makes sense all in one shot, what should you do? Break it down and rewrite. This part is really easy to do, right? So do that. Then do it to the XY, then multiply it by 4,000. Now, I don't have an answer here because I didn't actually do this question, so hopefully one of you has an answer for me. What is it? Pardon me? 0.08. Do we have corroboration? We do. Louis and Lucas, have the same answer. Does everyone agree? All right. So, again, how you get this answer is how you get this answer, right? Whatever you need to do to make your calculator do this. All of you have different calculators. I cannot tell you the best way to go about doing this, okay? Next one, again, I always like to write it out. PRNT. I have a $5,000 investment. I need it to double in 10 years, right? So my rate is what I don't know. My N, what is my N? It doesn't say anything about when it's compounded, yes? So I'm going to put 1 because it's annually. And my T is 10. Then I just fill it out. 5,000. Not equals. 5,000. 1 plus R, because I don't know my R, to the 10th. Can I solve that right now? Because all of you understand that's what I got to fill in, right? Except I can't solve that, can I? To solve, what do I need? It has to equal something, doesn't it? What does it have to equal? 10,000. Because I want my final amount of money to be double my original, yes? And then I just solve it using algebra. Divide both sides by 5,000. Now I've got 1 plus R to the 10th equals 2. Now, how do I get rid of something to the 10th? I take the 10th root, right? So we learned how to do that in the second unit we did. I take the 10th root of 2, and I take the 10th root of that, and 1 plus R equals the 10th root of 2, right? 10th root of 2. And then R equals the 10th root of 2 minus 1. Now, if you don't know how to find 10th roots on your calculator, but you show me all this algebra, do I give you full marks here? Of course I do. But all of you should know how to find a 10th root, right? Depending on the calculator that you have. Has anybody found it? Because when I made my key, I did not have a calculator with me, so I only got to here. Nobody? Well, then I guess I will have to find it. I did not want to, but... 1.07 is the 10th root of 2, minus 1, so 0.07, and then I'm sure there's some more decimals. What? Give me one more. 0.071. Now, is that a percent? 0.072. Is that a percent? No. How do I make that a percent? 7.2%. Everybody cool? So if I needed $10,000 10 years from now, if I could find a 7.2 interest rate, I would need $5,000 to invest it. That is a different case for that calculator. Yeah? Yeah. What's next? Same thing, right? Except what's changed? What do I not know? I have a sneaking suspicion. I don't know the P. I know I have to find P. So I go to the bathroom. There was a joke when I was in about grade 6 that was how to catch an elephant. Do you remember this joke? You dig a big hole and you plant a bunch of peas around it. So when and you fill the hole with ash from a fire. How do you catch an elephant when he comes to take a pee? You kick him into the ash hole, or you kick him in the ash hole because he's eating a pea and the hole is full of ashes. And when you kick the elephant, you'll be kicking him in the bum. You don't find this funny? This was the height of hilarity in grade 6. No? You guys are too sophisticated for that type of joke now? Too mature? If the elephant was trying to walk across a picket fence and fell and stabbed its balls, though, all of you would be like, oh my God, that's the best thing ever. But, because it would be on Fail Army or whatever dumb show is being watched now. Did you know that the Mythbusters are back? And they're lame? I watched them over the break. It's not the same dudes, these two young guys. And they're stupid. I was not happy with it at all. I don't know if any of you ever watched Mythbusters growing up. But they're not as cool as when it was Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman. They're not even as cool as those three losers they got on the show at the end with Adam and Jamie. These new guys are really lame. I was unhappy. So 12,000 is what I have now, equals P, 1 plus, what's 2 3/4%? 0.0275 to the 7th, because I have 7 years. Then I just solve this. So I get P by itself by dividing both of these by 1 plus 0.0275 to the 7th. So I divide that by 1.0275 to the 7th. And that gets me an answer of, again, because I don't have a calculator, I've only done the algebra on my key. All of you have already done this, so you should just be saying the number that you have written on your sheet. 9898.0. That's not a number.
9,898.080.
Does anybody corroborate, or do I need to get out my calculator? Anybody? You get 9,924. Okay. 12,000 divided by 1.0275 to the 7th. I get 9,924.50. I got what Louis got. I don't know what happened.
I just didn't get this.
Okay. Now, I am sensing I am not getting a lot of responses here due to, I can only hope, the fact that you are too shy because all of the work is obviously done, right? Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to write out the work. You can check it and see if you got it correct. This is 1,001 plus 0.03 over 12 to the 12 times what? 0.5, because it's half a year. So you will have to punch that in and get an answer for yourself. This one is A equals 7,500, 1 plus 0.0425 over semi-annually is twice 8 years, 8 times 2. That will get you the A. And then, of course, I want to know how much interest I made. Interest equals your final amount minus what you started with. So I don't have that answer. You will have to find it. And lastly, this is where the questions start getting weird. In 1910, the population of math value was 15,000. If the population is growing at an annual rate of 2.4, what was the population in 1965? So, it's not money, is it? But it's still an amount of things increasing, right? So, it is money. It's the exact same as money. So even though this is really more of a biology or a social studies question, you still need to know how to do the math in order to do it. So we follow the same rules. A equals, what was our principal? What did we start with? 15,000. And we grew at 0.024 over what? Just 1, right? Because we're not compounding. It doesn't miraculously grow 2.4% every quarter of the year. It's 2.4% a year, an annual rate, and it was 55 years. So you Google that, or Google it. You punch that in your calculator, you get an answer. If you Google the population of Math Valley, you will probably find there is no such place. But I cannot guarantee that. There may very well be a Math Valley somewhere. But I do not know. Seven, same thing. The herd of elk got up to 310. They started at 75. 1 plus I don't know my R, and it took 7 years. So, I do my algebra. 310 over 75 equals 1 plus R to the 7th. So, I take the 7th root of that, and I subtract 1 from it. 7th root of 310 over 75 minus 1 equals my R. R. And you will have to figure that out. Now, what makes number 8 different? Is anything different with 8A? Or is 8A pretty normal? 8A is pretty normal, right? How many birds will be left in 2010? But something is different. They are decreasing. So what does that mean? Pardon me? The rate is negative. Yep. So, what did I start with? 1,500. 1. But what am I writing here? Minus 0.065 per year. And how many years? From 2000 to 2010? 10. And when you punch that in, you'll get your answer. What was it, Louis? 765? Sounds good to me. Somebody had a number for me. So, what is happening here, though? It's increasing, yes? So how do I do that? You're going to turn the rate into a positive? Okay. So we're going to start with 1,500 again in 2000. 1 plus 0.065? But I'm decreasing at 0.65. Well, what happens if we do this? Let's see. And how many years would it be? We're going back 10, yes? Okay, so punch that in. What do you get? 2,815, yeah? So 1990 to 2000, right? Okay, so then what would happen if we took 2,815 and we did 1 minus 0.065 to the 10th? What happens if I punch that in? And does that work for us? We know that in 2000 there should be 1,500, correct? Right? So if I do this with 2,815 and I follow my formula, I didn't get 1,500, did I? Okay, so what else could we change? Because it wasn't this. This didn't work. So what else could we change? I still have a principal, right? What would I put here? adding didn't work. So what could I put here instead? Negative 10. Let's see what happens if we do that. $2,937. So now if we run that into here, we should get 1,500, right? Maybe. We got to check. Let's do so. So I had 2,937, 1 minus 0.065 to the 10th. So what did we change? We had changed the year. Because the decrease was 0.65%, yes? So the increase, while we go backwards, can't be 0.65%. Okay? Now, continuously. This is where I told you were going to be in trouble. These two. What does it mean to compound continuously? All the other ones make perfect sense, right? If you compound annually, I give you some interest, right? You add that interest on, and then the next year you get to keep that interest, right? So if I give you $100 on January 1st, and I tell you I'm going to pay you 10% interest per year, how much are you going to have on January 1st, 2020? I gave you $100 now, January 7th, I'm giving you all $100, and I'm paying you 10% interest. How much are you going to have on January 7th, 2020? How much are you going to have? Say it loudly, please, Burke. $110, right? Now, if it's compounded annually, on January 7th, 2020, I'm going to give you interest on $110, aren't I? Which is going to be $11 that year, yes? Everybody with me? Okay. But that's yearly. If it was semi-annually, I'd do that twice a year. If it was quarterly, I'd do it 4 times a year. If it was daily, I'd do it 365 times a year. What does continuously mean? Every second of every day. It is always happening. Can I put that into my formula? No, I can't, because I can't divide by infinity, can I? Right? Because it's always happening. So what you actually use is you use this button. A great many of you will see it on your calculator. It is a little e. I actually don't... Oh, yeah, it is a little e to the x. All right. If you have the big calculator... It is, where does it live? I can never find it. Where does it live? Where? The LN. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. This is a number. It's like pi. It's approximately 2.78, I think. I can't remember exactly what it is. And it exists because it's like a graph, and it never hits 0. It gets close to this, 2.78. And I would show it to you if it had a reason. But to do these, it's P, E to the RT, the E button. Now, it's not the E to the X, it's the E button, and I can never find it. And I can't turn on that calculator because there's no batteries. So I will turn on my regular... Hey, it's apparently snowing in Chilliwack, according to my phone screen, because I got the active weather. Where is E? It's not in math. I don't remember where it is. It doesn't matter. But it's basically the same, except you use this button here. And I don't remember, like I say, where exactly it lives, because it's different on every machine. Just let me check something. Yeah, I can't remember where it is. But like I say, it's not very important. I'll come back to it later when I remember how to do it on that calculator. And then you had 11 through 16. Are these done? Or do you people need a moment? Because I'm not getting a lot of response. And remember, 12, 13... 15 and 16 needed those things I was showing you yesterday, logs. Yesterday, idiot. Last day, logs. Do you need to be reminded of how those work? All right. The log 10 of 100 equals 2. It's because 10 squared equals 100. So 10 to the x equals 100. No. Oh, one of those. Yeah, for sure. Yes. I forgot I had them. Sorry. So to figure this out, it is log 100 divided by log 10. This is the unknown. So you're dividing them out. Everybody cool? So if you can do this, x equals log 100 divided by log 10. This is what you need to do 12, 13, 15, and 16. So if you didn't do those, you should try them now using these logs. 11 and 14, you don't need the logs. And then I am going to reacquaint myself with how this works, and then I'm going to show you this. Okay? I'm just going to do number 11 over here. I left you all this. How to solve logs. And that is all right. Now let's head on to 12 and let's just set it up right. So that's the formula, right? Because we don't know the t. Question is how long. But I do know that all that is going to equal 10,000, correct? So even if you don't know how to do logs, you can do all the algebra to sort this out, yes? You got to get t by itself. So how will I get rid of the 4,000? I will divide by 4,000 to get rid of the 4,000, right? So I'm going to divide that by 4,000, then I'm going to divide that by 4,000, and I'm going to get 2.5 equals 1 plus 0.09 over 12, all to the 12t, right? Right? Now, knowing what we know, that 10x equals 100, and we know that this is log of 100 divided by log of 10 to get that x. I have that right here, don't I? That is the 10. That is the 100, right? So, if I go log 2.5 and I divide it by log bracket 1 plus 0.09 over 12, I'm going to get what? Well, I'm going to get 12t, right? Right? So if I do this math, that gets me 12t, yeah? And then what do I have to do to get t by itself?
Make 12.
I got to divide the 12 again. Everybody cool? So you punch that into your calculator. I'll punch it in on the big one. Log 2.5 bracket divided by log, then I don't need two brackets, 1 plus 0.09 divided by 12, close brackets. So that gets me that. And then what do I have to do with that? Divide by 12 again to get 10.2 years. Everybody cool? And then all the rest of them are exactly the same. The only thing you need to know how to do logs is that. Now next year, those of you that are here and take a grade 12 course, either pre-calc 12 or even if you decide you want to do a math course and you don't want to do pre-calc, I'm pretty sure that they'll let you take Foundations 12 if you want from here. You'll do a lot of work with logs, and you do a lot of work with logs cousin, ln, ln, which is just dealing with logs, but in every base, not base 10, which is what we do our counting in. Lns are every other base. Okay? But it all works the same. But that's really not used till grade 12 and calculus itself. Which, of course, leads me to, if you are planning on taking pre-calculus 12, any of you, I can only assume it's because you are planning to go to university and planning to do some math at university. The first math course you can take at university or college is either pre-calculus 12 again, but they're going to charge you $1,000 to take it, or calculus 100. Now, the problem with calculus 100 is 6 out of every 10 kids that take calculus 100 at every university in Canada fail it. So these are kids that are smart enough to get to university, but 6 out of 10 of them fail calculus 100. We, in our school, offer calculus 12. Calculus 12 is essentially calculus 100. So if you took it in grade 12, where you only have 30 kids in the class, you have access to the teacher, you'll probably pass it. And then when you take it at university, you'll have already seen it. So if you are planning on doing any math at university, I would really recommend doing pre-calculus 12 next year and calculus 12. You don't need either one of them to graduate, so it doesn't affect you if you want to apply to a university. It doesn't screw you up, but it will help you. Even if you were to fail calculus 12, you would still have seen everything. You would probably pass calculus 100. Everybody with me? Okay. Sorry, that's kind of an offshoot. But if you are planning on doing pre-calc 12, you should really do calculus 12 as well. Okay? Okay, back to this. Carry on. I deposit 2,500, so 2,500 times 1 plus 0.11 over 4. And how long until 4,500 in the account? 4t. That's going to equal 4,500. And then, same as this, you just solve it. Okay? When you get your final answer from the logs, you have to remember to divide by 12. You could do it all at once if you were really good. You could have divided that by 12 if you're really good with your calculator. You can do it all in one step. I don't recommend that. So what would this one be? Divide both sides by 2,500, and you're going to get what you need to do. That's going to cancel. So then you're going to have log of 4,500 divided by 2,500 divided by log 1 plus 0.11 over 4. And that's going to give you 4t. Then you're going to divide that by 4 to get t equals. Excuse me. And then 14, 15, and 16 are the same. And that will take us to pretty darn close to where 10:33, class goes till 10:56, 7, 4, what is it? 10:54? Yeah. Let's do these three, and then let's chill. Because I'm going to try and get us into the computer lab tomorrow, or get computers in here. Because I would rather do the spreadsheet stuff before I do that stuff. Okay? So do these three, and if you've already done these three, relax. I'll do the answers right now, and you can see if you did them right. Okay? Okay. I'll write out all the equations. It'll be recording while you're trying to write them out. there are those answers. 5.41, 12,764.49, 11.5, and 15.3. You can check those, or you can watch the video later. Just make sure you're using logs correctly. Again, logs and lawns, which you haven't been taught yet, have lots of other uses, but this is their use for finance, because it will find you the unknown exponents. Okay? Is one of them giving you a hassle, Louis? Which one? 16? Okay, so I just started. My P is 5,000, right? I want 9,350, so that's my final amount. 8.25%, 0.825, right? Compounded semi-annually, so that's twice. I should have changed colors there. Make it green. That's semi-annually. So this makes that 2t. Punch it all in. Now, when I punch this in, Louis, the first time I punched it in, I got 2t equaled 436. Now, obviously, that makes no sense, right? Because when I divided that by 2, it would be 218 years of interest. Now, that obviously made no sense to me, so I went back and checked it. You understand? Is it snowing? Oh, it is. My phone wasn't wrong. Except it says it's not snowing in historic downtown Abbotsford. After you divided by 2, you got 15.4. Oh, well, now I got to check my work. Thanks, Louis. Log. Oh, yeah, you're right, Louis. See, yep, 7.75. So, good thing you checked. But that's what happens when you try to punch it all in at once, right? So, no, I'm saying for me, when I punched it all in at once the first time, I got 436 years. 218 years. That I knew was wrong. Then I punched it in again, and I got 30.66. Right? And now, when I go up and look, yep, I just go find that 30.66. Yeah, I don't know what I did. Oh, Louis, I divided by 4. It's divided by 2. That's why these calculators are so useful, because you can actually go back and find out where you screwed up. Aaron, Danny, I'm not going to tell my family you got me this so I can eat it all. If they want gifts from Mexico, they can damn well go to university, become teachers, and have Mexican exchange students. I'm going to Mexico in spring. I'm going to Hermosillo. And to the beach by Hermosillo. But I can't remember what it's called. What? Yes. Oh, it's so good.